Why am I buying HBAR over BNB? The answer is very simple. I like it a lot better. I believe that it has more room to grow. And also on top of that, I think it's a lot more revolutionary. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee. But hear me out, right? When it comes to HBAR at the price of $3, if it were to reach that during this bull run, considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $113 billion, which, by the way, isn't insane whatsoever because you've seen BNB actually back in 2021 even reach over $100 billion market cap. So yeah, I don't see why it's insane. Now, by the way, this is around a 54x from here. Now, let's say on the flip side, if BNB were to do a 54x from here, at that point, market cap, considering current circulating supply, would be around $4.5 trillion, and the price of BNB at that point would be around $31,000. I mean, come on, around 31 grand? That's insane. You know, when people like to say that, yeah, you know, BNB is going to do a 50x, all this type of stuff, well, maybe like years ago, yeah. But then as of right now, I think the days of it doing like over a 50x, especially during this bull run, yeah, that's pretty much over, man. I mean, come on, right? The GDP of the UK back in 2022 was around $3 trillion. So is around $4.5 trillion really that realistic? No, I don't think so. And hear me out when it comes to this as well. When you take a look at something like BNB, and then I compare it to something like HBAR, it just kind of feels like a big letdown. Because when you take a look at the fundamentals of Hedera, it's actually very amazing. But before I get into that, I want to give an analogy as to how I feel about this. When I take a look at BNB, you know, it just kind of feels like the Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas. It's cool if you see it in Las Vegas, but if you've seen the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and then you see that one, you're just like, whoa, man. It just kind of feels a little bit gimmicky at that point. You know what I mean? However, of course, this is no dig, you know, on the one in Las Vegas. I've seen it multiple times, and I'm just been like, okay, all right. But it just kind of feels like, you kind of know it's not the real thing. But when it comes to Hedera, it just feels fundamentally fantastic. The Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas feels like, you know, that meme when someone says, hey, we have this person at home or something like that. Or like, you know, when you see Michael Jordan or like Conor McGregor and they're like, hey, we have this at home. You know what I mean? It just kind of feels like that type of meme. But even besides that, we take a look at how when it comes to HBAR, it is the native cryptocurrency of the Hedera Hashgraph network. Now, the amazing thing about it is that it actually doesn't utilize blockchain. Instead, it utilizes something called a DAG, which stands for Directed Acyclic Graph. Now, this right here, people may think, oh, it's kind of caca, man, it's trash, all this type of stuff. But there's actually many benefits over traditional blockchain technology, quote unquote, because you take a look at how it typically has improved data storage, typically a lot faster, typically a lot more scalable, and also on top of that, typically consumes way less energy as well. As a matter of fact, right, you know, Hedera per transaction on average actually consumes way less energy than the BNB chain. That's actually true, by the way. It's also consuming less energy, not only just the BNB chain. You take a look at better than Solana, Avalanche, Algorand, Polkadot, Ethereum, you know, and many others. So yeah, that's very insane. So when people like to say that, oh yeah, when it comes to, you know, BNB, it's so amazing. I mean, come on, right? You take a look at even Binance. I'm not saying that Binance is a bad exchange. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's great. But you take a look at CZ of Binance. He recently got released from custody. You got to think about that. So yeah, you know, I just kind of think like, oh man. But yeah, besides that point, you take a look at how when it comes to Hedera, its governing council is A+. It includes LG. We all know that. We all know Ubisoft, Google. I mean, we also take a look at Dell Technologies. The list feels absolutely amazing. You got to think about how when it comes to a governing council that amazing, is Hedera going to be involved with caca nonsense? Absolutely not. Very fantastic. Also, on top of that, you take a look at Hedera's native services, reliably scales to 10,000 transactions per second and even beyond. Caralho. Boha. I mean, that's very amazing in my opinion. Very amazing. And of course, that means that Hedera is very scalable. So yeah, I really like that. We also take a look at how it has amazing use cases, you know, such as, for instance, NFTs, DeFi, payments. You take a look at how it has solutions for stablecoins, auditing carbon markets, and traceability. Also has, you know, use cases for decentralized logs and decentralized identity. So you got to think about how when it comes to Hedera, it's pretty much the complete package all around. The way you take a look at Hedera is that even though it doesn't have like the fans or hype like a BNB, for instance, the way I view it is that it's like if we make a character in like NBA 2K or like Madden, and then all the stats are pretty much at like 85 or like 87. You know what I mean? It's a very well-rounded thing. When it comes to BNB, it just feels like the speed is like 98, but then the stamina is like, 2. And then like the strength is like 5. You know what I mean? I think BNB has a lot of hype, has a lot of fans. And naturally, because it's been around for quite a while, it's only expected. But in my opinion, Hedera is just much better. Again, after all, Hedera Hashgraph, it's a DAG. I mean, come on, man. This is how impressive it is. You can't really compare like this to traditional blockchain technology, really, because it's kind of like, the way I view it, racing, a Toyota versus like a Lamborghini. I mean, come on, man. That's not really comparable. Now, some people like to say, oh yeah, the Toyota is super fast, all this type of stuff. But what are they going to drive, like a Supra? I mean, come on, man. I think that a Lamborghini's far cooler. Also, it's, arguably a lot faster. So yeah, I really like that. Now, also on top of that, we take a look at how when it comes to, Hedera, some people oftentimes like to underestimate it. They think it's trash. They think it's caca. But again, they haven't really taken a look at the use cases. Because again, I did mention, for instance, one of the use cases is payments. We all know that the payments market is currently, valued at over $2 trillion as we speak. So that's insane. It also has solutions, again, for stable coins. You take a look at how even though there's many stable coins out there right now, more are going to pop up in the future. It would only feel logical, right? As the crypto space grows, as the blockchain technology space grows, as there's more crypto owners, again, it's only fair to assume, I think something like that is going to happen. So yeah, when it comes to Hedera all around, I think it's very amazing. Not to mention, when it comes to HBAR again, reaching the price of $3, people think this is some crazy random pipe dream. They're like, oh man, this is insane. But when a bull run could be this amazing, I don't think, this type of stuff is out of the realm of possibility. You take a look at how when it comes to the Bitcoin ETF, that's massive. The amount of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption, that's just through the roof. So when you think about that, is this bull run going to be caca? Is it going to be trash? Absolutely not, man. I think that, it's not going to be bad whatsoever with all those amazing factors. Now, when it comes to HBAR, people like to say that, oh, wow, BNB, look at the price, it's a lot more stable than HBAR, all this type of stuff. But here's the thing. I'm not looking for stability here. I'm looking for hypothetical gains. And I believe that HBAR, again, has BNB defeated in that sense, which is why I'm believing in it. Now, not to mention, altcoins, around a year from right now, things could look so different, maybe even just around 6 months, because you take a look at how typically altcoins, as a worst-case scenario, they've been known to peak as a worst case, again, around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. That would actually mean around October of next year because, of course, the Bitcoin halving event happened back in April. So you got to think about that, right? It's not like we have to really wait, ages. If we have to wait like 4 years or 5 years, then okay, yeah, that's a very long time. I mean, come on, man. But then like around a year from right now as a worst case, I mean, come on. Doesn't seem so bad. At least that's the way I view it. Now, not to mention, though, it's actually not, again, so bad because if anything, it's actually more time for me to accumulate. Now, granted, if it happens earlier, that's party time for me. That's awesome. But then let's say it happens a little bit later. Fine. I'll just accumulate more because I'm dollar cost averaging after all. I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. That's it. I'm not looking to day trade, use leverage, or swing trade. I'm not looking to yell at the top of my lungs and saying, yeah, short, time to long, drawing some random triangle, all this. Man, that's just not my style. I don't like to do that, man. I like to keep things simple because, again, HBAR at the price of $3, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, especially when I combine that with the fact that there's currently over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. This is more than ever before in history. So it's only fair to assume that this bull run with all those amazing factors, again, could be so special. And I think, again, as Bitcoin goes to the price of 100,000, 150,000, because, of course, the Bitcoin ETF, the amount of enterprise adoption, that's so amazing for Bitcoin. I think as it does that, only fair to assume that altcoins, much like HBAR, they're going to go along with the ride as well. So I really can't wait. I'm very excited. And again, HBAR at the price of $3 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. If I could only put all my eggs into one basket, hands down, I'm choosing HBAR over BNB. Why would I choose BNB? I mean, this isn't like years ago, man. We're talking about pretty much 2025 at this point because we're so close to 2025. But yeah, I think you catch my drift. I think HBAR is hands down the winner here for me. I think Hedera, technologically speaking, is just so fantastic. Again, I think it's the winner here. Such a no-brainer pick for me. And by the way, if you want to join my private Discord, you want to interact with me, you want to gain advice, you want to take a look at my portfolio, buy and sell alerts, you want to take a look at even advice on how to become a full-time content creator. If you want to know how to make videos, edit videos, right? You want to know how to become maybe a YouTuber yourself. I can give, my advice, my experiences on how I've built this channel. You can ask me pretty much, all this type of stuff. So I look forward to seeing you all there. If you want to join the Discord, take a look at the link in the description. I think you all would really love it. And again, you can also join a community with other like-minded individuals, and as more and more people join, of course, there's going to be more people to hypothetically talk to. But yeah, besides that point, make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm a peace. Bye.